Good evening, everybody. Just like we usually do, this is the three middle-aged dudes just bullshitting about nothing. Multiple videos every, once a week, and this is our third video of the night. Happy April Fool's Day. It is April 1st today. And the subject that we're going to go ahead and broach, aside from, any foolishness or anything else like that, is hoaxes in video games. All right. At this particular day, on this particular day out of the year, if you were to go to any gaming website and you look at hundreds of thousands of articles and videos and things that they put up, you have to be wary that one of them is going to be a hoax. All right, something's going to be out there and it's going to be an April Fool's thing. All right. Actually, I fell for one myself just earlier today. One of my favorite channels is the Postmodern Jukebox, all right? And let's just say that they have a video that was put up, and it says, this is a great big announcement for all our 500,000 subscribers, all right? And I clicked on it, and it's good, all right? Let me just okay. With that, the subject that we're going to cover right now is, video game hoaxes. All right, we deal with rumors, news, and other stuff. All right, a lot of that stuff ends up not to be too much, or it doesn't end up to be as big as we think that they're going to be. But sifting through the chaff and the grain is always a process that anybody who deals with the industry or any of the media happens to deal with. And there have been lots of hoaxes, really memorable ones that have come through the industry, and what we're going to do is we're going to take some time to recap a few that, we remember and that maybe we were actually victimized, over the last 20, 30 years of our gaming careers. All right. Anybody who wants to throw one out there, you have the floor.
I'll throw one out almost immediately. Shenmue 3.
I was about to say the same thing.
I mean, look.
Every fucking year that happened. Every year.
Every
year. So it was basically
so-called gaming, gameplay or in-game.
Yeah, it was routine.
In-game demo. Yeah. And that was really mean. I don't know if that was Yu Suzuki or Sega or just somebody out there.
It was just people that were like, ha ha, you're never gonna get it.
No.
It was those motherfuckers.
Mm.
But the joke's on you now.
Yep.
Oh, yes. I had to say that one. I was waiting for it. I was like,
oh, yeah. I was going to say
that was the king. That was one of the king ones, man.
Yeah. I mean, that one, thankfully, the shackles to the Shenmue IP were loosely.
And that's what a lot of people didn't understand on why it was announced the way it was announced. Because if it would have been any other way, but people were like, bullshit. I would have been like that.
Even the thing is though, even at E3, nobody really realized it was the truth until Yu Suzuki walked out on that stage. Wait a minute.
The funny thing was about that, now that I think about it, when you were sitting there telling me about the news of the announcement, okay, and you're sending me messages and everything, the very first thing I tweeted back was like, did Yu Suzuki himself say that?
Yes, you did.
All right, was he part of the announcement? I'm like, because if that wasn't the case, I'm not fucking believing it. And you're like, he's on stage right fucking now. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Messages to that was local, and I was just like, holy shit. I dropped my phone during the fucking announcement. I'm stumbling over that shit. I wish I would have recorded this. I was sitting at this spot and I shouted at the top of my lungs. I think neighbors heard me. It was just like, I was like, I can't fucking believe it. After all this time, it's finally fucking real.
Yep.
Yeah. So but the April Fool's thing, it was over a fucking decade. It was just April Fool. And I'm like, fuck you. And then, I got one.
Go ahead.
Street Fighter, Shane Long.
Yes.
1992.
Yep. Yeah.
That had me fooled. That got me. And then they did it again in 1999.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 3. And I was like, I'm not falling for it this time.
Yep. Well, the thing with Street Fighter 2 in 1992, this was before the home version came out on the Super Nintendo, I believe.
Yep.
And EGM, they went ahead and they wrote up the article. Okay. In order
Electronic Gamely Monthly, for those that don't know, it was a magazine. That's how we got information back then. Fuck this bullshit. It wasn't.
It was on paper, folks. We had to read it.
We had to read it.
All right. You didn't realize it until you're like, wait a minute, is this the April edition?
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, so you can't believe anything in that magazine.
Exactly.
You couldn't.
Well, the funny thing is that at the time when it happened, okay, they were one of the first ones who went out and did it and started that fucking tradition, okay? Because they sat there and they said, okay, they photoshopped, you know, a fucking Ken model with long hair.
I remember that. Oh my God.
With a braided ponytail and they, you know, flaming uppercut. All right. And they sat there and they're like, you have to beat all fucking 10 rounds perfect. Okay. And then it was ridiculous. You had to sit there, you had to do 10 rounds perfect. All right. And then the last round, I believe it was something like you had to get what was that? Bison to as little health as possible, and then you had to let the time run out without dying or killing him. Okay, it was something really fucking convoluted like that, you know.
Well, that was steaming off of that Akuma thing, where you have to win like what the whole game and like each round, or one round and perfect or something like that.
Actually, that's how Akuma actually came about.
No, I know, and that's why it was so powerful when they did it, because we already knew how Akuma came about, so we're like, wait a minute.
Well, because I remember when Akuma first came, I remember when I first playing it and Akuma Hell Murders Bison and it's on a big screen. Everybody's watching me play, and I'm like, what do I do? What is that? Who is that? He has no name. He's just a darker,
dark shit,
version of Ryu. What the fuck are you? And wait, you're throwing fireballs in midair. Everybody starts laughing at me. I'm like, this ain't fair. I've never seen this shit before. But that's what Shane Long started, because of course it was in Ryu's quote. You have to beat Shane Long to stand a chance.
Yep.
Everybody's like,
well, I mean, and then it made sense. You know, that's how Akuma came about. So it kind of, people were putting one and one together and like, well,
it took on.
The thing about it is what the Reverend just said. Even though all those instructions were fucking
bogus as hell,
impossible, I still fell for it, and I was still trying to do it. I was still like, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get to this dude. And I'm going to fight against him. And no.
A full generation of kids dedicated their fucking lunch and bus money to this bullshit, okay? All right, let's just say that, okay? Those kids are now our fucking age, all right? You know.
I all I got to say is I just say I didn't eat.
Yeah, you know.
I came home hungry.
Yeah. I mean that's how bad it was, you know. And the funny thing about it is that, you know, then it came out. Like, I don't even think they revealed it was a fucking hoax.
Whole month.
In May. No, they didn't. They revealed it in the fucking June issue.
It was like May, June when they said, got you.
And people were like, what the fuck, EGM? What the fuck? Just wounded us, you know? Because there was, like I said, there was a whole generation of kids who went without lunch and, you know, really, fucking school.
What really got it was Ryu's, you know, quote. You know, I mean, it was perfectly played.
And the stupid thing about that is that the reason why they played it up is that the quote is a bad localization, all right?
It wasn't. That's not what he says in the Japanese version.
Yeah, you know who Shen Long is, all right? That's the proper Chinese name of Bruce Lee, all right? Basically saying you've got to be as good as Bruce Lee in order to beat me, all right? That's what it meant, okay? But
blame it on localization.
Yeah.
Poor localization.
Took it on a life of its own.
That is up the bomb.
But someone made a joke, ran with it, and fooled a generation of kids.
And as a result,
generation.
Capcom, paid attention to it, and we have Akuma as a character as a result.
Now we have Goken as a character.
As a result,
So good things come out of the hoax every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Right.
Every once in a while.
Going on the same theme, I believe actually, another hoax that I had seen. All right, but it was because people were so wounded. All right, EGM the next year over tried to do something similar, but this time was Sonic in a fucking Mario game.
Oh my God! Yeah.
All right.
People fell for that.
No, people saw that. They were like, wait a minute here. It's the fucking April issue. And they saw that. They were like, Nintendo and Sega are still butting heads. They're like, this is fucking bullshit. And they flooded EGM with letters. Quit it with that bullshit. Take that shit down. The fuck you talking about? All right? But by then, they had already established the tradition. Not only was EGM doing it, but other fucking magazines were doing it. And that continued on when they started doing like fucking, websites started doing it. And
wasn't Nintendo Power doing it then?
I can't recall anyone off the top of my head from Nintendo Power. All right.
I think they did. Something like that. Can't remember.
Oh.
I have one. Final Fantasy VII, bringing Aerith back to life.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a big one. And I watched people just had hope with this because they were so pissed off that they lost her.
What really people, like I told you before, what really pissed people off is the fact that they spent so many hours. Because by the time that she dies, you're well into the game. You're like 35 hours, 40 hours into the game, and you built her up. If you played her, you built her up. She's probably level whatever, and you gave her some good equipment. She dies. The equipment don't appear back in your inventory. It's gone.
I wonder how many people in Final Fantasy VII Remake are going to make that mistake.
Well, what's funny about that is that that particular hoax was perpetuated by people being able to sit there and game genie your ass back into the fucking party. All right. Where she just sat there and she followed you around, and people started showing off. They're like, no, these aren't doctored screenshots, these aren't doctored videos, but they didn't show the fact that there's a game genie fucking attached to their PlayStation. All right.
One thing too, I mean, Aerith was just a garbage character. I mean, she was crap.
You're gonna probably receive a lot of hate for that.
And well, I'm serious because I mean, she barely half-ass healed you, and then I mean, I can understand as a completionist because I am one. In order to get her final weapon or whatever, her Omega weapon or whatever they call it,
her final limit break, yeah.
Well, the final limit break, level 4 limit break, and also her staff. You have to go through some shit to get that, and I'm pretty sure. Mark my words, right now, it's going to be an achievement or a trophy that you're going to have to get all the limit breaks for all characters. It's going to happen, and people are going to have to level her up before she dies. But yeah, that was the most nonsense. Talk about you could bring her back to life. I was like, she's dead.
Yeah.
She's dead. There's no way to bring her back. She has to die to progress the story. She cast, if you know about Final Fantasy VII, before she died, before she got a stomach full of sword, she cast the material holy, and she died right after she did cast the spell, and that's what comes and saves the planet at the end. So
it's funny because it's funny. Sorry to cut you off there, Gray Mouse. It's funny because Cloud was about to kill her. You were about to kill her.
Yeah. Well, that Sephiroth was using his might.
You were about to chop her up.
Yeah.
And Sephiroth was like, oh, I'll do it myself.
Pretty much. And the fact that, I mean, she has to die. As part of the story.
That was part of the story.
She has to return to the live stream. There's no taking her. I'm sorry, you can't bring her back. It's just part of the story of Final Fantasy VII. And so, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
How about situations that were reversed that you thought were hoaxes, but were actually true? I have a couple of them off the top of my head.
Shenmue 3?
Well, no.
That goes without saying.
But touche.
Touche.
I have one. Pro wrestling for the NES.
Okay.
A lot of people did not know, and I found this out by accident, that there is an actual last guy on.
Yeah.
It's Tiger Mask.
Yep.
I thought that was total garbage until I actually experienced it for myself. And I was like, holy shit, this is actually real. And then when I started telling people about it, they was like, oh no, it's garbage. It's not real. I'm like, look, I will prove it. I will fucking prove it. I will beat everybody again. So I have to have people come to my house, beat this shit again, and get my ass whooped by Tiger Mask.
See, again, this is back in the era where there was no cameras, phone cameras, any of that. So the only way to prove something.
I mean, and the thing is that there weren't a lot of people out there who were so determined to go ahead and figure out, oh, how do I go ahead and route my Nintendo through my VCR in order to go.
Well,
for a lot of that, you didn't have time.
Actually, Nintendo actually explained how, because Nintendo Power ran several contests and stuff, high score contests for the old NES games, and they explained in the magazine on how to take a screen, literally take your camera and take a picture of your screen with your high score, and you send it into them as proof. Yeah. I mean, that was the only thing that was. But I mean, who had a camera? As an 7-8-year-old.
You have to take the picture correctly
without Polaroid.
Fucking
yeah.
Well, I mean, not only that, but that wasn't something that you sat there and
no.
It wasn't this. No. You didn't have it in your fucking pocket all the time. Okay.
No.
Yeah. If you were gonna sit there and get a camera, you had to sit there and pull out the old 35 millimeter or 8 millimeter.
Oh my god.
That was probably buried in the back of your mom's fucking dresser drawer.
Yeah.
Behind a whole bunch of other things.
We're not going to dig in there. Nope.
Yeah, and it might be surrounded by a whole bunch of other things that you don't even want to fucking find out about, So
another one that I have is Pac-Man being beat.
You can
that was possible.
Yeah. No, well,
I mean, when people started finally hearing rumors about that, it's like, wait a minute, no. People were like, no, it can't. No, it's not possible. No, stop! You're yanking my leg. You're spitting garbage.
When did he do that? That was just a couple of that. That was about 5 years ago, a decade ago, maybe.
No longer than that. It was
when the guy actually rolled it over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dedication, man. Holy cow.
I mean, that's really something that that's really just one of those things where you're kind of playing the odds of having somebody around. When you do something that other people haven't done on a comic.
You see, that's like I witnessed the arcade game of Rydar. I actually witnessed someone beat that.
Oh, okay.
I witnessed that, and people still didn't believe me. I was like, no, this dude went through all the stages. They're tossing them up, and it sounds like they're saying, fuck you, but they're actually shouting, thank you. I'm just sitting up there, I'm like, wow, this dude actually gets hard-ass game. Because that shit wasn't easy in the arcade to beat.
No, and you'd have to sit there and you'd have to sit through the whole thing.
No, he wasn't going through quarters. No, he just systematically ran through this game. And I was impressed.
No.
I'm like, damn, they're not getting hit by any of this shit? What the hell's going on?
What's funny is that a lot of people don't realize that a lot of these hoaxes, they're not confined to just what we read in magazines and also stuff that we see on the internet. Like, I remember one of the really, really old video game hoaxes was for the old, what was it called? I think it was, damn it. Now, I was looking at it too. It was.
Can't think of it.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, okay. What was it? Battlezone. The old Vector Graphics Battlezone. All right. Okay. If you sit there and you've actually played that actual arcade where you stand up in the thing, it looks like fucking tank periscope and everything.
I remember that. Yeah.
All right. And you roll around in the tank, and the tank is big and it's slow. All right. But it looks like you're actually going someplace. Okay. There was a rumor. All right. And this is all the way back in the mid or early 80s, that if you went far enough, you could actually reach those mountains in the background. And there was a castle in the middle of the mountains in the background, all right? I don't know who the fuck started it, all right? But all I remember is that, damn, anytime I get fixed to go in a straight line, I either run into something and get shot and I die, or, you know, if I concentrate on not dying, I've got to turn myself and spin myself around so many fucking times. How the fuck do I know I'm going in the same direction at any time, you know? That was a rumor that was really big at that time, you know. Let's see here. Rumors of being able to shoot the dog and fucking duck hunt.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of you out there, even in this room here, how many of you wanted to shoot that goddamn dog for laughing at you?
How many tried? I know I did.
I did.
Yeah, so
I still try.
Yeah.
When I still shoot ducks. That's why I say, fuck the ducks, I'm shooting clays.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck that dog. That's all I gotta say. Fuck that dog.
Oh my God, man.
I mean, and the thing about it is that the hoaxes and everything else is it's unfortunately, I wish I could say that the trend of this as not even the April 1st thing, okay, just as an industry thing as a whole, it's not gonna fucking go away. It's not gonna go away. All right. You know, whether it be being able to find Mewtwo by going ahead and going through glitching out the game and everything else, and the original Pokemon Red and Blue for the unknown number, which was basically you finding, like, uncovering in this one roundabout way the slot that Mewtwo would fit into as far as the game, the Pokemon category goes. But what happens is that, hey, look, once you do that, your fucking save's going to go ahead and it's going to disappear after a while because your shit's corrupt, all right? You know, people don't understand that, but that's how that happens.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a hoax, but the you know, like the I hate to bring this up, but the Master Chief's faith, you know. Oh,
being able to see him?
Yeah. Remember that? It's like, oh, come on, man, are you serious? You know, if you tilt the camera this angle or something like that, or
I remember that garbage.
I was like, man, no.
Yeah, or you know, bring it to other IP franchises on the Xbox. The nude code for Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Yeah, you heard that shit.
Yep.
I remember
this that one. Shit for Tomb Raider also.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. There's one for Tomb Raider for that crap. I remember Bad Dudes on the NES. There's a way to play two players at the same time. No, there fucking wasn't.
Or wasn't there?
Double Dragon was the same way. There's a way to play two players.
Wasn't there some? I can't remember the name of the game, but maybe it was Metroid. Wasn't there supposed to be where you can like make old girl completely naked or something like that?
No, but
was it Metroid or?
It's not completely naked, but she's in her.
Yeah, Justin Bailey. Yeah, but I'm talking about there's one.
Completely naked.
In the jumpsuit, the Zero suit. So, no, but yeah, I mean, the nature of the media and everything else, with it being so embedded in pop culture and all of that, rumors and hoaxes within video games, they aren't going to go away. And with fucking websites being dependent on clicks, all right, you can be dead sure that they're going to go ahead and they're going to cook up some shit to get clicked. All right. And we're not talking, you know, straight snake oil stuff like the fucking Calico Chameleon. All right. We're talking about stuff that's even more close and dear to people's hearts, like Dreamcast 2.
Speaking of which, here's one that's very good. That actually there was a rumor about a Super Nintendo and PlayStation. That was a rumor that the device actually worked and whatnot when it first was released. You know that somebody found it in an attic.
Oh, the prototype. The
prototype, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, I mean that was people today still even think that's a hoax. You know, that's bullshit. You know, I mean, I don't know. We saw pictures of it, but we never seen it actually I didn't see the light on.
No, those guys have actually gone on video. There's video now of them actually showing the device, showing the media and everything else, and actually turning it on. And there is a boot up screen. All right. So yeah, if you look that up, people have actually seen it. All right. So I mean, that's one of those things where, unfortunately, what caused all of that rigmarole was the fact that there have been dozens of other people saying that they've gotten a hold of prototypes and mocked up like artwork pieces and shit like that to go ahead and claim the same thing. But they're the only ones who actually got something that's
physical.
And not only that, but they were able to power it on, and there is a boot screen to it.
Here's another hoax. I remember people saying on Super Nintendo, if you beat Street Fighter 2 perfects all through on the hardest level, you can play as the bosses.
I got another one for you. Speaking of which, what about the so-called blood code on Super Nintendo's Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah.
How did we forget that one?
Would the controller be better?
How do we forget that one? That was rampant.
That was notorious.
That was rampant.
Yeah.
The only thing that was bleeding out of that was my fucking fingertips, all right, and my eyeballs. God, why the fuck am I playing this?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, two players in Final Fight for the Super Nintendo. I remember that hoax.
For the first Final Fight? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, you know what? That should have been 2 players, man. I don't know why.
Agreed.
I mean, look, Capcom dropped the ball on that.
Hey, UN Squadron did that, and Magic Sword did that.
Yep.
For some fucking reason.
Like, that was one of the what the fuck moments, man. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't put in the effort and neither did they want to put in the extra RAM chip in order to go ahead and have it handled. But that's half of dealing with the limitations of hardware. So I mean, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of them that are out there. Some of them, that we haven't heard of. If there's anything that any hoaxes or any rumors or anything like that of any current or past games that run rampant in the media, leave comments below. Tell us something that you've seen or you've heard, that even as outlandish as it may be. All right, because it helps us continue on conversation, and we're all about that.
We're not scared of interactions. We encourage it.
Yes.
Exactly. With that, thank you for entertaining this video, spending your last 30 minutes with us. All right, we really do appreciate it. If you're so kind, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below, upvote us, downvote us, whatever.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
No, all right. Well, with that, I'm the Reverend.
This is the theme.
This is Gray Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, even if it's hoax and fake gaming. Credits.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Happy April Fools.
April Fools.